I haven't done a channel update in a while for my channel, in a bit of a while, and it's time that I do that and kind of inform my audience what's going on. Here's why Twitch streams have been irregular for the last week or two. I have had essentially three major problems that affect my ability to stream, my ability to make video content, pop up all within the same 2-week span. Fuck me. The three problems I actually had was technical issues with my new capture card, because that shit's always fun. Jury duty pop-up, and loud neighbors. I always deal with that last one. The loud neighbors is kind of being taken care of, so I hope that's no longer an issue. Now, as far as the technical problems are concerned, I needed a piece of equipment to come into the mail that was ordered to give my capture card some additional power. Problem was, it was coming through China. And it was being sent through a courier that I don't fucking trust, because I never had anything successfully sent through them. This time they came through, but they were exactly 1 day late. But considering the fact I got it at all, not gonna fucking complain. So, yeah. And as for the jury duty, I have a legitimate excuse for not actually being able to go in jury duty. I'm not going to get into what that is, but that was the case. And when you're trying to call the legal department, I refuse to call them the Justice Department because of my political views, which I won't get into. When you're forced to deal with the legal department of the United States for anything, or when you're forced to deal with the government in any shape or form, you first have to get a hold of them. Good fucking luck. I wholeheartedly believe that. Good fucking luck getting a hold of them. And then, if the planets align, and it's a clear day, and the fires have been stoked in hell, because that's what it will take, you might be able to get a hold of them. And in that day, you're gonna have to deal with bureaucrats. Fuck my life. Somehow I managed to get a hold of them. It took nearly a week, but I managed to get a hold of them. Managed to get excused from my jury duty. I'm not going to go into what my excuse was. I'm not going to go into any of that stuff because it's kind of unimportant. But dealing with all this shit ate into my Twitch stream. I can't stream when I have a neighbor that's blasting copyrighted music because of Twitch's TOS. I can't deal with jury duty if I have an unpredictable date when I can't unpredictable date for essentially serving jury duty. I can't stream in those circumstances because my equipment, there's just too much of it and it's too expensive for me to randomly take it on the road. That shit would have to be massively planned out, and I would have to subtract a lot of my equipment and find different ways to stream. That would be a fucking nightmare. So I had the jury duty thing preventing me from streaming, copyrighted music being blasted through the walls, and massive technical issues. But I powered through the technical issues. I've got the equipment to fix my capture card. I got excused from my jury duty. And through a lot of police calls, I actually got the neighbor to back off with the copyrighted music. So here's where my Twitch streams happen now. As of now, it is, let me look at the date. It is February 6th, 2019. I have adulting to do, and I'm actually recording this prior to me streaming. BioShock will not actually be getting into until maybe Saturday morning, because if I'm going to stream, I'm going to be streaming Wednesday morning, which I should be doing now, of the same week, and essentially Saturday, because I have adulting to do on Thursday. So, yeah, that's where that stands as far as streaming. The next following week, I should be able to slip right back into BioShock, right back into my normal schedule, and be streaming everything as normal, and trying to finish up BioShock Infinite and the various DLCs. But there's one more little thing that we need to discuss. Late gaming news. There hasn't been an episode in a few months. What's going on there? Is the series dead? Did I forget it? Far from it. I have, what was planned to be episode 2 has been moved to episode 3. I've done that because it's taking me a long time to get the footage I need to finish the episode. What I have on that episode is essentially in chunks. That's usually true of any production within late gaming news, but it's in chunks for a longer period of time than was ever planned for any single episode, except for one distant episode. It's kind of a vital scene in video game footage. I'm not going to get too far into it. So I basically pushed that back to being a later episode. And I kind of joked in my own head about this. I kind of thought to myself, well, it'd be less time consuming to make another 2 episodes. So, while that's going on, I decided to make episodes 2, 3, which episode 3 was the old episode 2, and episode 4. And if I managed to get those episodes finished before the episode 3, I'd basically upload them to YouTube and separate them out by 3 weeks. So that when that episode did air, that it would just be episode after episode after episode. So that I could kind of go back into it real quickly, while then start new episodes at the same time. As it stands, the new episode 2 is finished. Episode 4 it's in pieces, but that's because I haven't had a chance to properly work on it. The only thing that I've done so far is record most of the video game footage. I literally need to buy a universal remote to get the last of the footage, and I'm not going to go into why. It is a weird reason to actually have delayed footage. And the other one is, basically what's preventing me from doing what is episode 3 is I need footage from a long video game. I'm not going to say what the title is, but I will say the genre. It is of a JRPG. Any RPG, whether it's a Western RPG or a JRPG, they are long video games, just by their nature. I don't have anything against that, but when you're trying to create content, creating a YouTube video is a time-consuming thing. You have recording, you have editing, and you have uploading. So when you're trying to do that of a video game that has an exceptional lengthy process and need a particular scene from the video game or particular footage from the video game, that's that's when you run into problems. And that's where episode 3 is right now. Episode 2 is, like I said, done. Episode 4, though, I essentially need to just buy a universal remote and then record more video game footage, then record the footage of me talking essentially behind the camera. That is mostly going to be fairly easy. Episode 2, the new episode 2, was really heavy in the editing process, and I see episode 4 being very heavy into the editing process. And episode 3 is going to be the worst. It is going to be an absolute bitch to edit. But the instant that it's done is when I'll upload it. All 3 videos will go up on different weeks, as I said. They'll go up on Mondays, roughly 9 in the morning EST, and they're going to follow that normal morning schedule, and they're going to be in their 3 different weeks because I stagger all the content that goes onto my YouTube channel. Now, when episode 4 goes in, it may be a good week or 2 until I get into the next episode. I had planned for the series to be a weekly thing, and that's still very much the planning process of it, but unfortunately, Late Gaming News is a bonus thing. It's an extra thing. It gets pushed aside. So when I have to deal with drama in my life, or when the stream has to take priority, those episodes will be pushed back. And the sad thing is that nearly immediately after I started the series, that's what happened. I did not intend for that to happen the instant I started the series, but that's where I'm at. The good news is that I at least have my eye on the ball and I know what's going on. And I'm making this video to let you know that that's still very much the intention, and I will get this shit done.